All right, and we're live. Happy Friday, everybody. See if anybody jumps on here. All right, I'm going to get started because I got a lot to cover today. Happy Friday. Again, it is Red Friday. Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. Shirt today is brought to you in part by Dave Bray USA. This is not a paid advertising or anything like that. Dave's a buddy of mine. I just happened to have this shirt on today. I thought it was cool, so I want to give the dude a shout out. So if you like the shirt, go check it out, DaveBrayUSA.com. Order your shirt over there. It is the first Friday of October, and I'm going to kind of switch things up just a little bit today because I'm going to make a couple of announcements first, and then we're going to jump right into what you've missed or what the shows have done this week on HMG. So first off, happy birthday to all of you October babies out there. Let's have a great month. This is actually one of my favorite times of year. Weather starts cooling off, changing of the leaves. It's hoodie weather. I like wearing hoodies, so I'm happy. I'm happy. Got a new booklet out for beginning podcasters. It's a very, very basic book. I finally put one together. People have been asking me for years to put it together. So I'm excited. But if you are interested in starting a podcast or whatnot, we now have a how to start a podcast. It's a very basic way to start a podcast. If you'd like the booklet, leave a comment below, and I'll make sure somebody gets a copy out to you. It's about, I don't know, 8 pages, 10 pages, something like that. Some tips, stuff you need, software, stuff like that. So very basic. If you're interested in starting a podcast and you'd like a how-to pamphlet, then by all means, leave a comment below. I'm going to start doing tips of the week. This week's tip is on publishing. If you are an author or you're in the middle of writing a book, or you're thinking about writing a book, when it comes to publish, do not edit the book yourself. You're too close to the work. Okay, don't edit the book yourself. And I can go on and on about that. I'm not going to do that today. But if you have questions about publishing, or you're thinking about writing a book, by all means, also leave a comment below, or send us a DM, and somebody will get in touch with you. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get started on what's happened this week on HMG. So first up in the queue, we got Veterans Unite. This week they had guest Tripp Ainsworth on. Tripp is a United States Marine author, artist, musician, and a podcaster. In this episode, they talk a little bit about his time in the Corps, what caused him to get out, and he's written about a dozen books or so. So, check out Tripp's work. Also, with Veterans Unite, don't forget every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Central Standard Time, the Got Your Six at 6 with the People's Patriot Project and Veterans Unite. That's every Sunday at 6. Next up, we have Not Your Average Operator. The guys are back in full swing. This episode this week, lessons from COVID-19. These guys are among the world's best, and they talk about, and they're these guys they're kind of stationed all over the world, and the fact that these three gentlemen get together and are able to put this amazing show together. But this week they talk about kind of the positive side of things, what they've learned from it, what they've gone through. You kind of hear a personal side of each of their stories and what they've gone through. this year. Some of them are downrange right now, and you hear what they've had to experience and what they've gone through during this world pandemic or whatnot. So that's Not Your Average Operator. Take a listen to it this week. It's a great show, and you always the guys are always pumping out valuable knowledge that you can use in everyday life. So that is this week's Not Your Average Operator. Next up, we have Books with Purpose, formerly known as Brainstorming to Book Sales. They've recently changed and rebranded to Books with Purpose. This week, the title is Breaking the Glass Slipper with dating coach Crista Beck. Crista has been featured on ABC, NBC, Fox, TEDx. She has mastered the art of dating. So listen, any of you single folks out there looking to get back into the game, you're going to want to listen to this episode. She shares the number one question that she gets asked by clients and then answers questions about dating in the virtual world. You're not going to want to miss this one. If you're single, take a listen to this one. You're gonna love it. So that's Books with Purpose. All right. What else do we have here? We got the Decision Hour. This week, I had on my good friend and medically retired Army officer Will Ostan. Will is we titled this one "Fighting for Our Nation's Heroes." Will has got an incredible story, and right now he's working on it's called the House Resolution 6466, and there'll be more information on this in the comments below. It's the Integrated Disability Evaluation System Accountability Act of 2020. It's a mouthful, right? This got added on as a bonk amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act 2021 that is now part of it's part of like thousands and thousands of papers that are in the main anonymous bill that the president has to sign right now before the end of the year. They need 100,000 signatures before the end of October for this House resolution bill. This is going to help guys that are and gals that are still on active duty. Doesn't matter branch of service. It's called the House Resolution 6466, and there's going to be more information on it. Listen to this episode, especially even if you're a veteran, or know somebody that's active duty. Pass this information along to them. Very important for them for things that are transpiring. Next up, we have the Military Millionaire podcast. Love this show. David has a guest on this week, Donny O'Malley. Those of you that don't know who Donny is a Marine Corps veteran, and he is the founder of VetTV. He shares his experience, how it was born, how it got started, and he also shares his entrepreneurial journey. So check that out, this week's Millionaire podcast. Check it out. All right. Next up, we got the Gary Brugman podcast. And this week, he welcomes back his sidekick, Big Daddy Roughneck. I know I'm going to get some grief for saying that. Big Daddy Roughneck is back this week, and the two of these guys did just a great show. They get a good combo. They put on a very entertaining show. This week's topic is pardon strategies. Excuse me. So if you're not sure of Gary's story, listen to it. Go back into some of his shows, read his bio and whatnot. You can check it out. He's got a kind of an incredible story. But this week they're talking pardon strategy. So check that out. All right. Next up, we have the Drop and Give Me 20 podcast, season 5. It's boom, went live yesterday. Love it. I was honored to be a guest on it. This season they're doing kind of a roundtable format, and it was really cool. We had a couple other guests that were on, and the topic was, kind of pivoting your business to fit basically 2020 and all the madness that's happened this year. And we also discussed, oh God, I lost my train of thought again. We discussed imposter syndrome, and that's a topic that I've been talking about a lot this year. It was a great show. I love this particular show. Season 5, I'm excited to see what they got. They got a ton of great guests that are coming up this season. Make sure you check it out. That show drops on the 1st and 15th of every month. So be sure to check that out. What do we got here? Ryan Hunt, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Next up, Time to Shine Today with Scott Ferguson, a.k.a. Fergie. I always got to say that when he's... Scott does a great show. Pumps out content 5 days a week. Monday through Friday, you can always see a show. Make sure you're following Time to Shine Today with Scott Ferguson. This week, just a couple of topics that he talked about. Get out of the survival mindset and thrive. Great episode. Another good episode that I really liked listening to was Helping Veterans Shine with a good buddy of ours, Ben from the Military Veteran Dad. So that is the Time to Shine Today podcast with Scott Ferguson. Make sure you check that out. John, good morning to you. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it. Me and the wife were just talking about you guys last night. And those of you that are watching this and you can see the comments, John, make sure you go check out his business. Simper Savage, great marinades and salad dressings. All right, next up, but got to keep it going because I got a lot more to cover here. The Arms Room Show. Love this show, The Arms Room. This week they had one of the instructors from Independence Training, Chris, in the studio to talk about coaches, demonstrators, instructors, teachers, copycats, and sellouts. Those of you that are not familiar with Independence Training, if you're into firearms or looking to get into firearms, take training. And if you got questions, these are the guys that you want to call. Independence Training, or if you go to, I believe it's trainingaz.com, you can look them up. Glenn is the head of the founder of that. He's also the host of the Arms Room Show. This is a show that you need to be listening to. A lot of great information each and every week that these guys bring. So check that out. That's this week's The Arms Room Show. Next up, we have The Power of Investing in People podcast with Shay. And this week she had guest Jeffrey Lodick. He's a retired Army Sergeant Major. I'm blessed to call Jeffrey a friend. I've had the opportunity to chat with him several times, see him at events. He's one of those salt of the earth kind of people. And his heart's in the right place. He wants to help people. He's got a great story. Talk about his military career, his upbringing, and what he's doing today. Huge sports nut too. Love it. Love watching his stuff because he loves talking sports. You can talk sports with this guy all day long. So check that out. That is this week's The Power of Investing in People podcast. All right, next up we have For the Sake of the Child, our good friends over at the Military Child Education Coalition. This week they have the Jason Foundation. The Jason Foundation comes on and shares startling statistics, strategies, and resources on suicide prevention that every adult with a child in their life will want to hear. This is a very, very important episode, and there's a lot of resources here. If you're not sure who MSEC is, Military Child Education Coalition, if you're currently serving in the military, even if you're not, they go check them out because they just have a ton of resources for people, and it's great. This was a great interview. It was eye-opening, me as a parent myself. Excuse me. So check this out. That is For the Sake of the Child podcast. All right. Wow. I try to keep these around 10 minutes and never, ever, never happens. Few more things real quick. We got a new show coming, hopefully before Halloween. It's going to be called Get in the Flow Podcast. You can check that out. It's on the show page if you go to HMG Podcasts It'll take you to the show page, all the shows that are there. Make sure you check that out. I got to give a couple of special shout outs today. I want to do a shout out to my tax fella. Great supporter of HMG and everything we do. Anthony Marinello. Go check out mytaxfella.com. If you need any your taxes done, bookkeeping, you got questions, these are the people that you want to go to. These are the people that we trust. I've known them for years. I've worked with them for years, and they're the only people that I refer out to. I mean, they're great. Check it out, mytaxfella.com. Anthony, I love you guys over there. Thank you. Next up, I want to give a special shout out to our friend John Krotek. He's the founder of Greenstone Hero. He's the host of Straight Out Combat Radio. He also does Task Force Zen. He's got a new company out, and this thing is hot. It's called #Planet. If you go to #planet.co and check it out, it's a new apparel line that's coming out, and I think people are really going to love it. This is something big, so make sure you go check that out and show him some love. Excuse me. Last, certainly not least, we have a parent company, our sister company, HMG Beverage, is launching here very, very soon. We're just wrapping up some details on the website and whatnot, but wanted to share with y'all. I got some of the packaging and some of what it's going to look like. So this is what I'm drinking right now. If I can do this here, there we go. This one's called First Dew. This is for our firefighters. It's kind of a dark, smoky, heavy, bold, smooth finish on it. We love that. We also got one for our law enforcement personnel called Patrol. That's a really dark one. Keeps you awake at night for those long nights on patrols, answering calls at night. And we also got PRN for our healthcare people out there. Wife loves this one. We also got another one that I don't have because we drank it already, called Lesson Plan. That's a good one. So you got to check that out. We're actually going to be packaging these in sample packs, and we have a couple other ones. I mentioned Lesson Plan, and then of course we have our Heroes United, which was our original one that we created 2 years ago, and that's been a popular one for quite a while, and we're very blessed and fortunate to have those. But we're going to be doing sample packs of all the flavors, and that we're going to be making those available here very soon. So with that being said, next week, it's not going to be the same background. Next week, I'm going to be somewhere else. I'm heading to Arizona. So next week, I'll be live from Arizona. I'm not going to promise you the time. I'm going to try to keep it around 9 a.m. Eastern time is when I usually do these. And most, it's good to see some of you came on this morning. Most people see the replay of this throughout the day and tomorrow. But I want to thank each and every one of you that have supported HMG, and more importantly, that listen to the shows that are on HMG, because that's what we're here for. We're here for all of you out there in the internet land. So with that being said, have a safe and blessed weekend. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next week.